So whenever I talk about the science of forest bathing, people always think you're so weird in wellness that you're talking. What are you talking about? Taking a bath in the woods?
Yes, I know that's the mistake that everyone thinks. It's called Shinrin-Yoku, translates as forest bathing. So people think, oh, you're bathing in a forest. But it's like a nature walk. It's walking in a forest. And one thing you don't do is you don't run. You don't have earphones on.
What are some practical tips if people don't live around a forest?
Definitely essential oils like pine or lavender is an obvious one for everybody. Plants, loads of plants in the home. Peace plant, you can have a spider plant, bamboo.
I've seen studies where even pictures of nature can have a similar effect.
Yeah, absolutely. A picture on a wall, and greens and blues are the colour as well that are quite calming. Just a picture on your screensaver, on your phone or on your computer. That's another thing.
What's some health benefits that maybe you hear people talk about? Caroline, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, well, great to meet you in person, finally.
Yes. Great to meet you in person. So we're here at the beautiful Dromoland. It doesn't get better than this, right?
No, you feel like a princess or a king every day, right? It's
Recording
fabulous.
in a castle.
Yes, I know.
If I had a nickel, I would have one nickel.
Yes.
So I'd love to go back to you. We started talking before we started recording, and your life took a quick turn in 2020.
Sure did.
So you're an Irish girl living in the States for a long time. Take us back to that point of life. Like, what took you to New York and what was life like there?
Yeah, so I'm a Clare woman, born and bred, and I used to come to this castle as a child. We used to take lots of walks. So when I was 18, finished school, went to Dublin, went to the city, and I got a taste of it. So I went to New York for 3 months, and I came back 5 years later. So I got a taste of New York, and I arrived when I was 20, and I worked in the bar business. I became a bartender and got a taste of money. Loved the life. It was amazing, you know. So I did that for 10 years in hospitality. I guess what took me there was because I'm from Clare and I grew up in a small town. I just wanted something else, something bigger. So Dublin had that first taste, and then New York City, I was addicted, really. That's what happens, right? In New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you met your husband in
New York. My husband Sam is in the bar industry as well, and he worked close to me, and we all hung out in the same group. A lot of Irish stuck together, but all the crowd was so diverse. But the Irish would stick and drink and have fun and hang out, and we looked after each other. So when I met Sammy, we had 2 kids together. I stopped working in the bars, and then I was a stay-at-home mom for a couple of years, but I loved to work out, as did he, really into health and fitness. So I just started doing my yoga teacher training when the kids were really young, and thankfully I did. So I just bounced around New York, and I had a small studio there in Tribeca called Reform Club as a movement studio, and my husband had 3 businesses he shared, he was partnered in. And at COVID, like everyone in the whole world, life changed because we came for a wedding for my nieces. She got married to a gorgeous man, and we were here for a week.
You came back to Ireland for a
wedding.
while.
Back for Ireland, yeah. It was Friday the 13th, never forget it, 2020. And we all got COVID at the wedding. Well, most of us, we didn't know what it was. The flights didn't return. They said, just wait a few weeks, we'll see what happens. And 5 months later, I had to make a decision where I was going back or staying. So we had to put the kids in school. They were 10 and 13 at the time. And it was a massive change. And then my husband closed up everything. The places were closed. My studio was still sitting there, and it still is. It's a boutique studio. And there was a few studios above me, Kula, which you might be familiar, and Rodney Yee was there as well. And it was a great community, but we just had to make a decision and what's best for the kids. That's what always happens, right?
So you didn't plan on moving back, but you were forced to because of a pandemic. What was that like? Was that a tough decision?
Because nothing came back with us. And my husband, lucky for me, my family are from Clare. So my parents are still alive and well. And they all lived in this community called, it's a little village in Clare, close to here, close to Dromoland, called Kildysert. And that's where we landed. So my family are still there, and they just supported me. Really tough, I have to say, lots of tears for the first year. Not fair, woe is me. But you always have these people in Ireland say to you, well, it could be worse. You have your health. And that's all they ever say. And you think to yourself, they're right. I have my health. So why am I complaining? And pick yourself back up. And myself and my husband are hard workers. I created the business here, which I can talk about more, but I just felt like I stopped crying, Caroline, get out of bed and just, you live in a bubble in Manhattan. You live in a bubble here, but you have the support of your community. So I think you just have to get back on the horse.
Yeah. And with your kids at 10 and 13, they didn't even say goodbye to their friends because they went for a wedding, right? I mean,
correct, yeah.
I mean, that's sort of the jolt that many people had, but you had obviously going between countries. For people that don't know the country of Ireland, like where is County Clare? Just if you could describe it for people like in...
Yeah, so it's the most beautiful county in Ireland.
Not biased
So,
or anything.
no, not at all. So it's in the west, and the attractions here are the Cliffs of Moher that everybody knows about. It's quite damp and wet, but the west of Ireland, be close to Galway and Cork, and it's the wild Atlantic Way, and Dromoland Castle being here, it can offer all the guests all these beautiful tours around here. So there's not big cities around here, and I think that's what is the attraction for tourists to come here or anybody, because it's a hop, skip and jump from Pennsylvania, New York, where you are. And, the flight's like 5 hours. So that's why I think I went to New York as well, was to be close to home, whereas Australia was so far. So I feel a lot of people are taking weekend visits here. And Shannon Airport, if you flew into, it's a dream, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. I had to go to England first for a wedding, but flying into Shannon's always a breeze.
Yes, it's a breeze, yeah.
And for us Americans, like you could do TSA, like immigration there.
Yeah. Right through.
In Ireland.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
Very convenient. So you're here, we're in this beautiful estate, there's like 500 acres.
Yes,
here,
there
right?
is 500 acres.
There's a lot of acres to do some
lot.
forest bathing, and you're teaching everybody locally in Ireland, but also all the guests at Dromoland forest bathing.
Yeah.
So whenever I talk about the science of forest bathing, people always think you're so weird in wellness that you're talking. What are you talking about? Taking a bath in the woods?
I know that's the mistake that everyone thinks.
Can you set the record straight? Like, what is forest bathing? What are we talking about?
So it comes from Japan, and South Korea practice it a lot. It's part of the work day now, because when science started with the conversation with doctors, it was in Japan is overworked, Tokyo is so overpopulated, and people were getting really sick, and anxiety, depression, everything was high, but even suicide rates were really high, and heart disease. And they just were like, something has to give. This concrete jungle, like it's like urban, everything is like greys and whites and fast paced. And living in New York, I know what that's like. A subway, a rush hour, I would avoid. Your heart rate goes up, you produce so much cortisol, you have to like calm yourself. And I didn't even notice what I was like in New York until I moved here. But in Japan, it was just the 80s, it's so new. And it's so obvious that if you walk into a space that's green and you just stop, put down your phone, get out of your workplace, and you just smell and ignite the senses, it's incredible what it does for you. It comes into the parasympathetic nervous system. So your heart rate starts to slow down, your breathing starts to slow down. You start to see colors that you didn't see before. And we have this here now. So I think the conversation started there. And now they did loads of studies, and they said, okay, we have to start to prescribe this instead of medication sometimes, because it's easy to take a pill. And I'm not against that at all. If you need it, you need it, of course. But I think it's easy just to give this magic pill and say you'll be okay. But have you looked at different avenues? Have you taken a walk? Have you gone outside? Do doctors really question, oh, how's your health today? What's your toolbox? What do you do? What do you do before anything? Even if with, physical therapy or anything, ask them what they do in life. What are their habits? And if they're sitting in front of a computer 12 hours a day, well, they're going to be sick. So without a doubt. So now this conversation started, and now they prescribe first. There's so many, I think like 75% of Japan is covered with forests. So, and there's so many gardens, beautiful gardens and cherry blossoms and everything. So that's what they do. Now they take twice a week a 20-minute break, and they go out to the gardens, they go out to the forest, they take a walk. And having a guide, which I am here now, and I'm so honored to be. And it's what I did. I was like, but I do this already, and I take walks, and I always feel better after a walk. So that's what all these countries now are offering. Ireland is starting. It's really in the east as well, in Wexford, But Dromoland Castle is the only castle or hotel in Ireland to offer this experience.
Wow.
And I'm the first one to do it here. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's amazing. You're groundbreaking. And I love that infusion of hospitality with wellness programming, which is why I wanted to have this conversation today, because so many people they can learn something. They may think they're coming in for a holiday, but when they get here, they can really learn a practice they can take back home with them,
absolutely,
right?
yeah.
But there's something magical here to be in the actual. This land is really beautiful too, but it is something anybody can do no matter where you're at, right? So
yeah,
absolutely.
We'll
talk some practical tips for people depending on their life situation. But so what does some of the science show? You mentioned the parasympathetic, but what's some health benefits that maybe you hear people talk about?
Yeah, so it's called Shinrin-Yoku, which translates as forest bathing. So people think, oh, you're bathing in a forest, but it's like a nature walk. It's walking in a forest. And one thing you don't do is you don't run, you don't have earphones on. It's like a no-go. So I invite guests and anybody listening to this is you can start at home and just go into your garden, but you have to let go of what's going to happen. Just leave it at the door when you close it. And when you walk into the forest or the woods or the garden, wherever you are, there's no distractions, meaning no phones. It's so tempting to take a picture, but that's like, take a picture with your eyes. And then it's all about the senses. So when you close your eyes, you can hear more. And the sense of hearing is the highest as well. But when you can smell in a forest, a rose, whatever you smell, you can do it at home with aromatherapy, diffuse oils. And then when you walk into the forest in Dromoland, some of the trees here, there's one from 1711. There's these beech trees, oak trees, the power of a tree, the texture of a tree, holding a tree, hugging a tree, because I do hug trees.
Oh, I hugged one the other day. I mean, it's a day in life with me.
Yeah. And then it doesn't make you feel any worse. So by spending 10 to 20 minutes even of the day coming out, what will happen to you is you will not feel worse. You'll come out, and this is when the science kicks in, is everything. So the more you do, I guess the trees, they bring out these essential oils called phytoncides. And when you stand or sit under a tree and you pause, they release. So we breathe in oxygen and we exhale carbon dioxide. But trees do the opposite of that. Mm-hmm. So they breathe in carbon dioxide, they exhale oxygen. So we're breathing in this oxygen and they're protecting each other in the trees, all of this land, any insects, any animals there. So by standing there, you're getting this so much more oxygen. Also, you're infused with this essential oil, and it releases these killer cells in our body that can actually, this seems like a crazy thing to say, but the studies behind it have shown that they can shrink ulcers and even produce more anti-cancer cells in the body. So what harm is there in doing it? Mm-hmm. And I think for people that are anxious or depressed and can't get out of bed during the day, if you can sit somewhere and just start to listen to your senses, it just makes such a difference to your day, to your world. And I have teenagers, as do you, we spoke about it, and it infuriates me because I am like the nagging mother. But I feel like this needs to be in schools because they listen to their teachers sometimes more than they listen to their parents. Yeah. But taking small kids to nature walk, they do this in small schools. But as they get into the bigger schools, they stop, they sit in desks. This should be part of a school day.
Yeah, get outside.
Yeah. And they can see the difference then. And then just have chats and also be silent. Mm-hmm. Do nothing. Just listen.
Yeah. Oh, it would make a mad world less mad.
Yes, absolutely. There'd be more peace.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, look at the mental health epidemic of everybody, but kids especially. Yeah. The loneliness epidemic, and that could really solve it. There's a somatic aspect of getting out in nature because we're so divorced from nature, but yet we're inextricably linked to it.
Exactly.
So we're divorcing ourselves from our roots, and it's creating this epidemic of mental health issues and other chronic health problems. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the way that you talked about it, this sort of sensorial, somatic experience of forest bathing, and I think that's why that Japanese phrase, Shinrin-Yoku, is the perfect word for it.
Yes, it is.
Because it's not like you talk to a Westerner, they're like, you mean a hike? No, it's an ends to a mean, right? It means to an end, right? Mm-hmm. It's the physical fitness aspect of it. That's not what this is.
It's not what it is. It has to be slow. It has to be gentle, because you're also disturbing what you walk into. So if you walk in, I mean, the other day I was here with a couple of guests and we stopped and we were talking, and then we heard a rustle and there was 4 deers, and then we stopped and we listened. And then suddenly there was a red squirrel. And I'm not blowing this out of proportion. This is true. Because you stop and you listen, and then the birds sang louder. It's this bird song, and it was incredible. So what we do in this experience is we make it our own in Dromoland Castle. So traditionally there's a tea ceremony which we offer. A local lady here has this amazing turmeric tea, and we want to forage more, so we have to look into that. But I think we offer the movement, because I am the residential yoga teacher here. But having a little movement, first you have to know where you're standing. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people have pains and aches and invite you to be barefoot in the forest, do yoga in the forest, do Tai Chi in the forest. That's what the aspect of Dromoland Castle offers. And then we eventually lie down underneath the canopy of the trees, and I bring blankets, and we have a little sound bath, and it's just really beautiful. And that will help you tune in for a habit you can take into your daily life, and have your little room in the house, have your little place in the garden, your little Buddha in the corner. It's finding these things that work for you. But as you say, living in this constant phone world and TV and whatever it is, and news, always bad news. I mean, I find it really hard to watch anything these days, like all of us. But getting into nature, it's just going to nurture you 100%.
Using nature as a medicine and nature as a meditation. That's what the whole concept that we're talking about here. So what are some, I want to tell you about the study that I read about breathing in the biome, breathing in the microbiome of the forest. You mentioned these sort of essential oil compounds that they're releasing, and it impacts the natural killer cells. I saw a study, it was on kids. It was forest bathing classes on kids that you were mentioning, and it's shifting their microbiome and actually raising certain bacteria in their gut that are better at releasing and stimulating serotonin production, which stimulates GI motility, which works on that vagus nerve, which is that parasympathetic. So it's that sort of gut brain microbiome mind crosstalk that we can get when we reconnect with source.
Well, that's incredible and totally believable. And I know that your book as well, my husband's really intrigued. He's like, I have to get this book. So we have ordered it.
Oh, thanks.
I was going to ask for signed copy.
Hey, well.
But it's the gut feeling. Our gut is our brain as well. Yeah. And I do truly believe that. It's also like with that, the parasympathetic, right? It's like it slows down everything. So with your digestion, I feel like being in there, what do you have to lose? And as you say, starting young, starting with kids, but that's a whole other book that I have to open and take into my world, and because it's incredible what you can do to help. And you have to start with children. You have to start here and work up. So it's a pandemic right now, and it's really sad. And when I see people and you want to preach to people about it, you have to let them discover it themselves too. So I think having people like you in the world and reading more about it. And even like for me, it's like I can say it to myself, and people go, I want to read this book. I actually do a lot of audiobooks now because I find them, I will listen in the car. I just learned to drive 2 years ago. So it's like being from New York.
New York will do it too.
Yeah, but audiobooks to me now are the way to go.
Yeah. So
you have to find the place where you can fit in this little wellness spot, read more about it. And the proof is real. It's the science behind it. It's not made up. So I encourage everyone to learn more about it.
That's for sure. So walk people through, if they're at Dromoland, you mentioned the deer, what are some of the animals that people see here?
Okay, well, there's badgers definitely, which I haven't seen. I've gone there a few times now. There's red squirrels, the deer, and then lots of birds. So there's a falconry here, and Dave, who has taken me personally around. Have you done?
I've met Dave. I did falconry twice.
Oh, you did?
23, and then this time it's great. Yeah.
But it's just what's underground. I mean, even I had a gentleman here a few months ago, and I didn't know his age, right? And we were talking, and I knew he was an elderly man, but I work with a lot of people in therapeutics. And we're walking through the forest, and we came down, and I invited him to sit down at this rock, a very low rock. And then we were like putting our hands through the soil, and if you asked me 10 years ago if I'd be doing this, but this is good for you. It's healthy for you. As you say, it goes into your system. It's all the good stuff. And we came across all these worms, and it was like, oh, look at this, having conversations. And at the very end of it, I had him lie down under the canopy. And, he wasn't struggling to get up. But then he told me his age, and he said he was 84. And I was like, what? And he was a poet.
Oh, wow.
And he recited poetry to me. And we spoke about reading. I ended up being with him for an extra hour. And I did what I did to him, and we explored and we talked about this. But what he gave to me as well was just meeting people. And it was a quiet walk for 20 minutes. But then he changed me in a way that he encouraged me to write my bullet points that I always write, my journaling. But he would say, but why don't you write this poem? So his poetry was about getting older, moving slower, but being okay with it. But always moving and not stopping. And it just really hit home to me because I have older parents, and we stop moving, we stop reading, we stop believing. So that's, I think, an experience of anybody on these walks will get, be it by themselves in a group. You're going to get an experience out of being in this woods and staying here, eating the food you eat, but also then an exploration. Like the wood, it's incredible here, and there's so many trails to walk through as well.
That's beautiful. Is this no matter what age you are, to stay connected to that?
Yeah, stay connected.
I love that you were playing in. I mean, that soil microbiome is a powerful medicine.
It is.
Too.
I know.
I love that you were doing that.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Do you implement that? Integrate that?
I do. Yeah, and it depends on the crew, right?
Are you okay with playing in the dirt or
no?
not?
I don't. So it's an invitation, and that's the thing. But I'm also quite outspoken. I'm like, hey, and you can see by their manner, and people are like, ooh. But it's getting low, and then sometimes with a group, a small group, a big group, I will do yoga, but I'll offer it as a light stretch, and then I'll see where they want to go with it. Nothing, no vinyasa, no flow.
Yeah.
And then by the tree, there's a red cedar tree that we stop under. We go to this fairy tree, it's a hawthorn tree. And it's a spiritual aspect of the forest as well. It's a beautiful tree that looks like really dark branches. It has red cherries in the summer, but in Ireland, you're not meant to touch the tree. You can touch the moss in the tree, which is also the microbiomes, but it's very good for your skin. Some people believe that, well, they don't believe, they say if you have eczema, that if you have your hand in this moss, it can cure your dry skin. I don't know how often you would have to do it. I don't suffer from that, but it's so interesting that it can have healing properties like moss, like seaweed, like anything you can drink. And it's the same with what is in the land. Like, so all these trees, and then we always end up in the last tree that we come to is the beech tree, and it's 200 years old or more. And that's where we lie down because it's this incredible giant tree. It's the biggest tree on the estate. And it's just a gorgeous place to be.
And that's the one you said from 1711?
That one is,
trees.
That's just the one from 1711.
18th century?
Yeah, 18th century.
Yeah, amazing. So I walked on one of the trails with my wife the other day, and there were some massive trees. I don't know which trees where you go, but I mean, there are some huge trees.
There's a lime tree in front of the pond. Did you see that one? The lime tree. It's beautiful. So in the winter, it's like, it is also giant. And you're like, wow. Yeah. I went over there the other day, so I took a different trail, and I was just blown away how different it looks at this time of year. So May is my favorite time to come here as well. But then in the fall, there's the fog, in the winter, and all the leaves are gone except for the ones that are always here, the pine and everything. But there's still this beautiful feeling. You can do it all year round. That's the beauty of Dromoland. You can take the walks all the time.
Canadians taught me that there's no such thing as bad weather, just inappropriate clothing.
Yes.
So don't say, I can't do it because it's too cold.
Yes. We are waterproof. We are waterproof.
Yeah, I mean, it's raining here a lot. Doesn't mean you can't do it.
No. And there's also parts of the day that are dry. And I think, especially with this canopy of trees, even when you walk under, you don't get very wet. We took the umbrellas out. Yeah, it's a misty,
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's part of that sensorial, somatic experience.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. So what do you say for people that are like, okay, this sounds amazing. I'm going to come to Dromoland, but in the meantime, I want to start this at home, but I live in an urban space, or I live in a suburban space, and there's yards, but there's not a lot of like forest. I mean, we're diffusing some essential oils in the room. At the telehealth clinic, we have it going because we're more in an urban space where my head team, my lead team are at. So can you set the record straight? You don't have, I mean, yes, get to nature as much as you can, but you can't wait for that. You have to start here and now.
Yeah.
What are some practical tips if people don't live around a forest?
Well, definitely essential oils, number one. And then like ones that you like the smell of as well. Don't force it because you're not going to enjoy it, right? Like pine or lavender is an obvious one for everybody. Nettle, I personally like rose. I love rose. And so infused oils, you can also make your own with twigs. If you put oil on the bottom of a high glass, and put twigs in or bamboo, You buy them in stores, but if you make it from home, it's beautiful. And then you put a little vodka on the bottom because it's alcohol, right?
The bartender pass
Or
is
gin.
coming out.
And you turn up the sticks. They last for a week. It's incredible.
Okay.
So I started making that myself recently as well. And also plants, loads of plants in the home, like peace plant. You can have a spider plant, bamboo. There's a list of them as well that you can just go online. I think NASA have distributed a list. In your garden, most importantly, have a space. 'Cause I think a lot of people in this side of Ireland anyway, or wherever you are, if you live in an apartment building, if you have a balcony, I used to live in an apartment building in New York, and we had like a little garden that was, it wasn't a big garden, it was a little place that we planted, and we got our hands dirty, and our kids did it, and we taught them how to do it. So I'm always like, did I create memories with our children? Yes, we did. We did that. That's another thing. And then you find a place. So you drive somewhere, and it can be once a month. So if you spend an hour once a month in a forest, that stays with you, which is incredible. So it doesn't have to be all the time.
Yeah.
And get out into the open and listen to the birds, not the passing traffic. Try to be away from a road because that will irritate you. But sometimes, like any meditation practice, there will always be a disturbance, and it's how you react to it. So if I'm at home and I'm doing my meditation practice, which I do daily, because I need to, and if I skip it, I can feel myself bubble. That's the way I am. I've got that fire in me. But I do a movement practice first, and then I'll find this quiet space. And if the door opens, I have to say, I do this, I put my hand up, or I just say, oh, I'll be right there. But find a space, because we brush our teeth, we eat, we do all this. You have to give yourself 5 to 20 minutes a day. And it seems impossible for anybody to do it. But it's for you. It helps you be a better person, and it helps you talk to people a different way and not be less agitated and be angry or whatever you're dealing with. So I just encourage people to find a space and then just go off your senses. List your senses. Have your cup of tea. Do it quietly. Multitasking is easy for us to do as humans. Women are so powerful at it. We're great at it. More than men.
Not so much.
I know. But it's coming down to finding your space and finding a lovely place that it feels good to sit in, right? And it can be lying down or sitting in. And that might be taking a drive or a walk and then just pausing and reflecting. That's it. It's simple.
I love it. Mm-hmm. I've seen studies where even pictures of nature can have a similar effect.
Yeah, absolutely. A picture on a wall, and greens and blues are the colour as well that are quite calming. So if you can have a photograph of something you took, even blow that up, or just a picture on your screensaver, on your phone, or on your computer, that's another thing. Yeah.
So it's like, I see it as like good, better, best. Like, look, a picture's not going to be the full experience. It's not. But it has similar mechanisms because that's how powerful it is.
That's how powerful it is.
Even a facsimile, right? Even a complete just image of something that magical will have influential benefits on our biochemistry.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Powerful.
And colourful foods as well.
Yeah.
Like,
what are some of your favorites?
Cooking. Well, I just love anything green anyway. So it's very healthy.
Brings
And I mean, I have a balance
life.
of everything. Moving back here was a struggle because I loved convenient New York healthy food. I'm not vegan or vegetarian, but I was pescatarian for years. And now I'm just like, the lamb in the back, but it tastes so good.
Yeah, New York.
But it's,
New York's some good food for sure. But
does.
there's amazing food at Dromoland too.
Yes, there is.
And what I love with Dromoland is that they source so much of the food with local, like seafood, local beef farms. I mean, it's wonderful.
Yeah, it is farm to table, literally.
Yeah, it's farm to table.
And have you tried the goat's cheese from Clare as well? St. Tola?
I haven't, no.
They have that here. It's insane.
Yeah, it's like a farm to table castle experience in the woods.
Absolutely. And look, I have to say, sometimes I pinch myself driving up here because every time you come here, no matter what the weather is, like it really does give you a feeling, right?
I don't want to leave. I'm going to hide in the basement. He's going to kick me out. Caroline, thanks so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you. Well, it's such a pleasure.
Tell people like how to connect with your work and tell them where to go for your stuff and Dromoland stuff.
Yeah, so I'm here at Dromoland Castle. If you're here, just ask for some yoga, some forest bathing, and I'm around the corner. And then on social media, I Move with Caroline because I love to move and find stillness. And Retreat Yourself is the business that I have on the side. And we just run yoga retreats around the west of Ireland and some. Just lots really good food, and it's a senses retreat.
I love it. Caroline, thanks for coming
Thank
on.
you, Will. Pleasure to meet you. Okay.